Here's what no doctor, no financial planner, and no family member ever really prepares you for. Life after 70 can be the most confusing, isolating, and quietly painful chapter of a person's life. And the reason no one talks about it? Because most people don't even know it's happening to them. You spent decades working, raising children, building something, and then one day you cross a certain line, and the world starts treating you differently. Not all at once, slowly, quietly, and nobody hands you a guide. What you're about to hear are 7 brutal truths about life after 70 that most people only discover when it's already happening to them. Some of these will make you uncomfortable, some will feel deeply familiar, and one of them, I think, might finally put into words something you've been feeling for a long time but couldn't explain. Stay with me. Over 57 million Americans are 65 or older right now. That's a massive number. But here's the thing, most of the conversations about aging in America focus on the surface stuff: Medicare, Social Security, retirement savings, the practical things. And those things matter. They really do. But nobody's talking about what's happening underneath, the emotional reality, the quiet daily experience, the things that people feel but rarely say out loud, even to the people closest to them. This video is about that. About life after 70 in ways that most people never see coming. And whether you're living this right now, or you have a parent or grandparent who is, these 7 truths are ones that everyone deserves to understand. Because understanding them doesn't just help you cope, it helps you live better. Let's start with truth number 1, and this one catches almost everybody off guard. Truth number 1. After 70, most people quietly lose their sense of who they are. And they don't even realize it until they're already in the middle of it. Think about it this way. For most of your adult life, you had a role, a title, a purpose that defined you every single day. Maybe you were a teacher, or a nurse, a contractor, a business owner. Maybe you were the one who kept the whole family organized. And then, retirement came. The kids grew up, the role ended, and suddenly, who are you? It sounds simple, but for millions of people, that question becomes one of the hardest things they've ever faced. There's a man, let's call him Robert. He spent 35 years working as an engineer. Loved his job, loved the people, loved solving problems. He retired at 66. His family threw him a party. Everyone was happy. But by 71, Robert told his doctor something that surprised them both. He said, "I feel like I disappeared." Not physically, not mentally, just as a person. He wasn't depressed, he wasn't sick, he just didn't know who he was anymore without the work. And research on aging consistently shows that loss of purpose and identity is one of the leading emotional struggles for people in their 70s and beyond, far more common than most people expect. This is something nobody prepares you for. And it's something that connects directly to the next truth, because this loss of identity doesn't happen in isolation. It happens alongside something else, something quieter, something that millions of older Americans feel every single day. Truth number 2. The loneliness of life after 70 is unlike any loneliness you felt before. And here's why that matters. We all know what loneliness feels like. You felt it at different points in life. A hard season, a breakup, a move to a new city. But the loneliness that comes with aging in America is different. It's not a season, it's a shift. Friends pass away, neighbors move, adult children have their own lives, and you don't want to be a burden, so you don't call as much as you'd like to. You might be surrounded by family during the holidays, but on a regular Tuesday afternoon, the house is quiet in a way that it never used to be. The U.S. Surgeon General has described loneliness among older Americans as a serious public health concern, comparable in its effects to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's not an exaggeration. That's the reality of what sustained isolation does to the human body and mind. And the hardest part? Most older adults don't talk about it, because they were raised in a generation that pushes through, that doesn't complain, that handles things privately. So they sit with it, quietly, and the people around them, the adult children, the grandkids, sometimes have no idea. If you're watching this and you have a parent or grandparent over 70, I want you to think about the last time you called. Not texted, called. Because sometimes the most powerful thing in someone's life after 70 is just hearing a familiar voice. Now, we've talked about identity and loneliness, but there's a third truth that most people never connect to these first two, and it lives in the body. Truth number 3. After 70, your body changes in ways that doctors often minimize and that you've been told to just accept. Now, this is not about illness. This is about something subtler. The way you wake up stiff, the way stairs feel different, the way recovering from a cold takes 2 weeks instead of 3 days. These aren't dramatic events. They're slow, quiet changes. And one of the most frustrating experiences many seniors report is going to a doctor and hearing some version of, "Well, at your age, that's to be expected." And maybe it is expected, but that doesn't mean it doesn't matter. And it doesn't mean you should just accept it without asking questions. Because here's the truth. Many of the physical changes people experience after 70 are significantly influenced by factors that are within their control. Sleep quality, nutrition, movement, stress levels. But in a culture that often treats aging as something to manage rather than something to live through with intention, many older Americans feel like their body is just slowly becoming something foreign to them. And that feeling? It feeds back into the loneliness and the identity loss. It's all connected. And the next truth is one that almost nobody wants to admit out loud, even to themselves. It's about money and what the fear of running out of it does to a person. Truth number 4. The financial fear of life after 70 isn't really about money. It's about losing control. People talk about retirement savings, about having enough. But here's what surveys of older Americans consistently show. The fear isn't always about what's in the bank account right now. It's about what happens if something goes wrong. A health crisis, a long-term care need, outliving your savings. And for millions of people in their 70s, that fear lives in the background of almost every decision. Do I take that trip? Do I help my grandchild with their tuition? Do I fix the car or wait? This is especially hard for people who built their whole sense of security and dignity around being financially independent. Because when that starts to feel uncertain, even slightly uncertain, it changes how you see yourself. One older woman described it this way. She said, "I've worked my whole life, I've saved, and I still go to bed worrying that I'm going to become a burden." That word, burden, it comes up again and again in conversations about senior living in America. Not because these people are actually burdens, but because they were raised to believe that dependence on others is something to be ashamed of. And that belief, at 72, at 78, at 84, sits quietly in the background. And it connects directly to the next truth, because the financial fear doesn't just affect the older person. It quietly reshapes the relationship between parents and their adult children in ways that nobody sees coming. Truth number 5. After 70, the relationship with your own family quietly shifts, and nobody knows how to talk about it. You raised them, you sacrificed for them, you showed up for everything, and now they have their own lives, their own jobs, their own kids, their own pressures. And you understand that. You really do. But there's a new dynamic that nobody prepares you for. Suddenly, you're not the one giving advice. You're the one people are quietly worried about. Suddenly, decisions about your life, where you live, how you drive, what you eat, start becoming conversations that other people want to have with you. And even when it comes from love, it can feel like something is being quietly taken away. A woman in her mid-70s put it simply. She said, "I went from being the person everyone called for help to the person everyone is checking on." That shift is real, and it's hard, for both sides. Adult children who are trying to help, and parents who are trying to hold on to their dignity and independence at the same time. And here's the thing, there's no script for this. American culture doesn't do a great job of preparing families for the emotional complexity of this moment, so people navigate it imperfectly, with some tension, with some silence, and sometimes with love that just doesn't quite know how to show up the right way. Now we're coming to the last two truths, and these are the ones that sit deepest. The first one is about something you can feel but rarely see. Truth number 6. After 70, your relationship with time completely changes, and it's something you can't fully understand until you're living it. When you're in your 30s or 40s, time feels like something you have. You plan, you save, you say, "One day I'll do that." But after 70, time starts to feel less like a resource and more like a companion walking beside you. Some mornings you wake up and you feel the full weight of how quickly the years have moved. You think about the people who aren't here anymore, the experiences you didn't have, the things you said you'd do and then didn't. And sometimes that sits heavy. But here's the other side of that truth. Many people who are genuinely living well after 70 say something unexpected. They say that this new relationship with time actually made them freer, more present, less worried about other people's opinions, more able to enjoy a simple morning, a good conversation, a quiet sunset. Because when you really understand that time is not guaranteed, you stop wasting it on things that don't actually matter to you. That's a gift that doesn't come cheap, but it is a gift. And that leads us to the final truth, the one that almost no one says out loud, the one that sits underneath all the others. Truth number 7. Most people over 70 carry a quiet fear of death. Not of death itself, but of what they'll leave behind. This isn't about being morbid. This is about being human. And it's something that very few people talk about openly. It's the 3 a.m. thought. The one that comes when the house is quiet. Did I do enough? Did I matter? Will people remember me as someone who made their life better? It's not always dramatic. It's quiet. It's a man who spent his life working hard, wondering if his grandkids will know his story. It's a woman who raised 4 children, wondering if any of them really understand how much she loved them. It's this deep human need to have mattered, to have left something behind. And the truth is, most people never actually say this out loud. Not to their spouse, not to their children, not to anyone. They carry it alone. Because somehow, in American culture, talking about the end of your life feels like giving up. But it's not giving up. It's the most human thing there is. And what we do with that feeling, how we respond to it, matters more than most people realize, which is exactly where we need to go next. Here's what I want you to sit with for a moment. Everything we just talked about, the identity loss, the loneliness, the fear, the family tension, the quiet worries about time and money and legacy, none of it means that life after 70 is broken. None of it means you've somehow failed at aging. It means you're human, fully, completely human. And here's something that's genuinely true, something that research on aging and happiness consistently shows. People in their 70s and 80s who have found meaning, connection, and acceptance report levels of emotional well-being that often surprise younger generations. Not because everything is easy, but because something shifts. The need to impress people fades. The constant striving slows down. And what remains, the people you love, the small daily moments, the things that actually matter, those come into focus in a way they never could when life was loud and busy. Life after 70 is not what most people think. It's harder in ways nobody talks about, but it's also richer, more honest, more real. And for many people, when they finally get quiet enough to hear it, it becomes the most authentic version of living they've ever known. If you're in your 70s or beyond right now, I want to say something directly to you. You've earned the right to feel whatever you're feeling. The grief, the confusion, the pride, the joy, the worry. All of it is real. All of it is valid. And the fact that you're still curious, still learning, still asking questions about how to live well, that says everything about who you are. Don't let anyone rush you past this chapter. Don't let anyone tell you it's only about decline. Because life after 70, life after retirement, is still your life, fully yours. And the people who live it best aren't the ones who had everything figured out. They're the ones who stayed honest, who stayed connected, who let themselves feel it, all of it, and kept going anyway. That's what getting older with dignity actually looks like. Not perfect, not painless, but real. And real is enough. If this video spoke to you, I'd genuinely love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me, what has been the most unexpected part of life after 70 for you, or for someone you love? Because your experience matters, and someone else reading your words might feel a little less alone because of it. If you found this honest and helpful, a like or subscribe means the world. It helps more people who need this conversation actually find it. And if this topic resonated with you, our next video goes even deeper into one of today's truths: the quiet epidemic of loneliness among older Americans, and what families can actually do about it. You won't want to miss it.